Hey everyone, this is Louis7 and I am streaming the Lord of the Rings online, and I do want to point out that my PC crashed right before I tried to start this stream a few minutes ago, so hopefully there is no issue. Everything's restarted and appears to be working. And what I'm going to be doing today is just returning to questing on my Warden on Anor and settling in a little bit into the Waste. I think in the stream title I said that I am starting the Waste because I'm more formally starting with a questing in the Waste. I have done a few quests just scattered about while I've been in the zone, mainly doing some stuff with my kin. We were doing roving threats and I think pretty much just roving threats whenever I got done with that. So starting with the book quest and the regular zone quest really today. And I don't think there's a stable master at this camp, so I'm going to be starting on the North Ithilien side. I should probably make this my milestone home. I don't know where that is right now. Looks like that is Aragorn's pavilion, which is in Anorian after battle, so I think I could change that here. I have to remind myself everything going on with this character as well. So I think I will have to run back. I guess I could. I see some quests on my minimap at least. That might be the Host of the West there, which I have that actually filtered, so I'll actually ignore that for now. But yeah, I'll start just riding back to the camp, which I cannot think of the name of. It's like Camp of the Host of the West or something. We will go through the beautiful zone of the Waste, which is a little bit spooky at nighttime. I think the thumbnail is around sunset time, and hello there, zombie Rosenharman. I think I accidentally tried to say that last name once again, which if I remember correctly, it's essentially lawnmower in English. But the creepy smiley, I do not know what the creepy smiley is. Oh, you mean from your emoji maybe, it's a creepy smiley. But anyway, hello, and it is evening time for you. That is another point that I forgot about, is it is afternoon time for me. I decided today that earlier in the afternoon would be a little bit of a better time for me, so it's something I am trying. It's not quite, when I have done earlier streams, it's usually been a couple hours before this one, so 3 o'clock start time is a little bit odd to me. Wow, I got a legendary gift box there from my gold weekly present. That is nice, and I got a teal one from the other one. So I got 3 reputation acceleration tomes, and the main thing of interest is actually the 1000 virtue XP. And I don't know what to do with the virtue XP, if I want to save it for the next virtue XP boost, which I have no idea when that is, or if I want to go ahead and just use it and not worry about the inventory space, which the second option should probably be more appealing, but I feel the need to maximize my value with virtue XP, especially considering, again, reminding myself everything going on with this character, but that's especially considering I've capped on my main 5 virtues essentially, and I'll keep on getting virtue XP with everything I do on this character. So while getting all these other virtues up would of course be nice, I'm not really pressed to rank up my main virtues, so I can just save that and get the most benefit that I can out of it, or even potentially use it on an alt if I ever get back to playing my Runekeeper or something like that on this server. And that is good that I keep getting better every time. I realize my issue with trying to say the Rosenma is that I just try to say it real quick, and there are too many letters for me to read it and say it that real quick without actually looking at it. I think every time I see it, because the name of course pops up every time you chat, I just read it as like Rosenharman in my head, which I don't think it's quite like that. There's a session play there, which I might have to do. Yeah, it looks like I have to do the session play. My history of session plays in LOTRO is I don't really like most of them. There have been a couple that haven't been all that bad, but overall I don't like them, and that's actually one positive thing potentially about the Blood of Azog update 30 that will be coming out. The whole Azanabalzar zone is you're essentially experiencing it through a dwarf's eyes, but you're playing your own character, so it's not like a session play. I think this one we actually play a Golem, maybe. Yeah, it says Golem level 80. I think I did these session plays once But I honestly don't remember them because, again, of my history with session plays. It's something that I usually just didn't bother paying too much attention, but I will try to do that a little bit more today, and I'm getting... Hopefully LOTRO doesn't crash. I mentioned earlier that my whole computer desktop crashed, but I think it's just doing some loading stuff. And hello, Elanadir of Gondolin. Eventually we will load and get started with this. But yeah, I'm excited to do the book quest again, maybe pay a little bit more attention. Did they actually take you to Minas Morgul? I forgot about that. This is a... Oh, we can't quite go there, of course, but... I wonder if those enemies that you see on the mini-map were here back in the day, because they're all level 124, which would have been when the Minas Morgul expansion was added, but maybe Minas Morgul, the city itself, has always been there. Anyway, I'm too interested in exploring. We need to actually talk to Frodo, and we will climb up this way towards Toric Ungol, maybe? But yeah, I actually remember most of the stuff from the Minas Morgul questing. It's taking me back to Luiden when I went through this questing on him. Needing to clear my throats, and I have nothing in my inventory. Wow. Who knew I could have such a clean inventory? I guess Gollum does not really carry too much stuff around. Oh, Gollum does get the VIP bonus. That's good. Gollum could definitely use some double XP. He's only level 80 and he's in Minas Morgul area. It's pretty low. He does need to catch up, I think. These hobbits climb slowly. They're taking it one step at a time, though. Maybe even half a step at a time. So there's Cirith Ungol, which is right there, but there's a tower of Cirith Ungol. I think that is that tower right there. Alright, I need screenshots of Gollum. If I had the foresight of exactly what I was going to be doing today, I would have put Gollum in the thumbnail, but I did not. So Gollum has one skill called Murder that does over 2 million damage. Whenever I am sitting like this, I just always want to open my inventory and look at my stuff, but when doing a session play, I cannot do that.
Sleep, precious. Yes, for a little while.
Waiting for something. One thing I can do is increase the chat box size so I can actually see what's going on a little bit better. Also, I realize I cannot hear anything. Most quests like this aren't voiced over in LOTRO, but there's the occasional part of the game where it's actually voiced over a little bit, and that does not appear to be the case right now.
That should be enough. Yes, precious. Time to slip.
Gollum is voiced over. They're very unobservant, the hobbits.
What do you want, precious? Leave me alone. Weak. Do not listen to him.
So we are still sneaking east. This is very weird what's going on. Because you're Gollum, I don't remember too much of what of this was in the movies. I kind of remember parts of this, but it's been so long since I've watched the movies, and as people know, I haven't read the books. So I forget exactly what goes on. This is like the part of Lord of the Rings as a whole that I actually remember the least, which is odd, but it is weird talking to Smeagol
Leave us alone,
as Gollum.
Smeagol. This is the only way. Gollum. She won't want the precious, though. No, indeed. Gollum.
Right, we are entering the tunnel.
Now what was the right
This
one?
looks like an Ingmar tunnel. Just because I've done Karn Doom so many times, it reminds me a little bit of the sewers of Karn Doom. A little bit different. I guess the water was green at the entrance. There's a spiderling. It almost looked like a beetle or something at first to me, which would be a... trying to think what they're called, Grodbog and LOTRO. I do remember Torak Ungol. This is actually a place. Once again, I remember it from Minas Morgul rather than anything else. I don't know where to go. I guess I'm trying to find the name of the spider. Shelob, the one I can't remember the name of. I don't know if that is the case, but that is what I am guessing right now. Or I could follow these spiders. I'll see what happens when I get towards this part, because I can always circle back.
Not this way. No, not safe, precious.
And actually, it tells me that is not the way. I was hoping as Gollum you could actually jump through that, but you cannot. Trying to take a shortcut back.
Almost there, precious. Almost there.
And I always, it actually shows all my shared, account shared stuff. So Gollum has access to all my figments, my embers and motes of enchantment, marks and medallions, which I have a lot of. Mainly saving my marks and medallions for reputation acceleration tomes. And it looks like we are making progress with this. Is this supposed to be the spider's eyes?
You remember poor Smeagol, yes?
I feel like a spider right now, and I think that pretty much, I don't know, confirms it, but definitely feel a lot more like a spider. Like spinning down the web right now. Hello, Luis Santos.
But Smeagol, he brings you tasty foods, yes? They are almost here.
Yeah, the music makes it feel what I can hear of it. I don't want to turn it too loud and make everything echoey, but it is
And then
creepy. That's the word I was trying to say.
and the precious will be ours. There is no other way, Smeagol. No other way.
I feel like the eyes of the, again, I think I'm a spider right now, look like they're made out of glass or something. Eventually I will teleport back. Completed the first interlude we have. I would guess there is more. I don't remember if all of, what am I on, book 8? Yeah, I think it's book 8. If that is all interlude, but I don't think it is from what I remember. I don't even know, looking at the tip here, it says visit the quest grouping tab on the social panel to find other players who want to group up for a specific quest. I don't remember if that is still actually a feature on that. There is quest grouping still. I just think this is something nobody really does. You can create, it looks like, but I don't think anybody actually creates these things. Like if I were to do Book 8 Chapter 1, I could create something that's like, do that. Even though it's a solo quest, can't really group with it. I don't think it's something people use anymore. There used to be one where you could do that with instances. I think they merged that with the new instance panel essentially, so you can create, like if I'm looking to do Glittering Caves, I can create that set, whatever with that. They have Brawler actually in the game on that. I did not know Brawler was in the tab on this, and this is not the beta or anything, but this is actual live. They have Brawler there. Also, it's not in alphabetical order, which is kind of weird. I don't know what the order is with the classes there. But anyway, you could create one, remove it, and then I think invite people from there or whatever.
In my heart, I guessed that Frodo and Gollum would meet before the
Alright, got one done. Now we do go down to LOTRO, and he is in the southern part of the Camp of the Host. I think last time I was heading north to talk to this guy, and he is in the western end, it looks like. Somebody was in the east, but I forgot who it was.
Our journey has been full of hardship.
Okay, now we go southeast. Then talk to Curinir, even more east. That was a little bit weird. I guess it was a part of the quest where it almost looked like Gothmog like armor. Somebody with that and they just disappeared. We are going more east, not west. Calenglad. All I remember Calenglad from is I recognize the name Calenglad's Vigil, which I was thinking, what is that place called? Weathertop. But for some reason I don't think that was actually Calenglad or Calenglad's Vigil. I thought that was maybe Tenuter or something. He looks like a ranger, perhaps from Evandem, but I don't remember entirely actually where he's from. I just remember the name with Calenglad's Vigil somewhere in the game. But it's always neat when you see floating people, first of all. But second of all, neat when you see like NPCs or whatever from many zones in the past show up again, still be relevant somehow with the game. Alright, moving on, we completed that, I believe, and we just need to defeat foes in the Nomad Lands. Rather. Thought there was something with nomads in this, but maybe it always said No Man's Lands. Either way, I think we are finally ready for our first regular quest set, non-session play, non-interlude quest set. I have a quest ring icon right here, the Howling. So the Howling is to complete a couple of quests, I assume, from those two guys. Or at least one of those guys. So with these quests, I have Hidden Dangers. That is probably one. The book quest I can just get done killing things in the zone, of course, but I guess the quests I should focus on are the two white quests. Everything it looks like in the northwest a little bit, we'll head that way. And it's probably good if I turn floating names on so I can see flowers, because it's something I am not sure if I'll actually utilize my flowers, but I might as well pick them up while I'm in the zone. I'm just thinking towards the future with this character, with this server, and everything this summer. I'm not sure how much of the 105 gear I will get. I think the biggest hurdle will actually be essences rather than getting essence armor. And I think most of the essences you can get decent ones from what I remember. The purple ones. Level 105 essences, of course, tier 8, from just doing skilling instances at level 105. So that's something I will probably be doing for my primary source of essences rather than doing these flower dailies every day. might as well pull some enemies. Yeah, there's some interesting things, of course, talked about on the Update 30 beta stream, but there's some interesting things coming balance-wise. I was just thinking about how my Warden kills things really fast on the landscape, but the balance changes with Update 30. There are definitely some interesting things going on there, I think. Get that artifact. I think I need these. I actually need almost 20 of these. I don't know if I can get them from looting as well. I don't remember picking up 4 of those before, but it could be a quest that I have just had and have been picking those up over time, or maybe the enemies drop them and you can pick them up. I don't know what that quest either. But yeah, though, of course, destroying hidden orcish traps, that's not like going to be an enemy drop, so I do need to get a bunch from that. Looks like the boars, there's no Beast Slayer deed in the waste, it looks like. And then Mordor Scout, that just counts as foes. I think the hidden scouts I actually did with another quest, that one of the ones I have already done in the zone. And my goal today, talking about all my quest progress and getting settled in, my goal is to maybe finish the Camp of the Host of the West. I still don't remember the actual name of the camp. It might be just Camp of the Host. Yeah, Camp of the Host. Maybe finish the quest there and get to Horondir. I don't know how long that will take. I kind of remember back in the day when I first did the zone, I remember it taking me a while to progress through the zone. So I'm kind of basing the slow progression on that, just getting to Horondir today, but I do not know. My plan is to stream for a couple hours, probably not really long. Looks like I got just about everything I can. I don't know the hidden orcish traps. There's in Scout, don't really care about that. There's Dusk Nettle, I do care about that. I also don't know the waste. That is one thing I mentioned with flower picking, but the waste flower picking, the flowers you get here, the violet and golden extracts, are different. They have different uses compared to the North Ithilien flowers, so I don't think you can directly barter for gear from the waste flower extracts. I think you get some of the crafting and reputation stuff, which I really doubt I'm going to go through all that, even though there are nice cosmetics. I actually found a cosmetic shield that really matches, I believe it was this armor. It had a nice blue color to it, so I would like that. As far as more permanent rewards goes, but for getting my armor at level 105 for what I do and what my kin does, I don't see myself spending a lot of time focusing on that. Rather, I just plan to finish the questing in the waste, hopefully before Mordor comes out, which I likely can do that. I know when Update 30 comes out, my progress on the server will definitely be slowed because I will be doing the Blood of Azog questing, doing the raid hopefully, and getting a little bit back into Arkenstone temporarily. And then I'm expecting Mordor, I think, is scheduled for August, and potentially the Brawler. I don't know when the Brawler will be coming to like beta on Bullroar, or when the Brawler will release, but it's kind of expected to be released, I think, a little bit before the Gundabad expansion. And I'm guessing the Gundabad expansion would be anywhere from September to November. So that's another thing for me to be on the lookout for this summer, at least. Here I am talking about these flowers and me potentially not getting much use out of them, but I can't help but, if I see them, to just gather them. What is this white quest? Nip them out. Hidden Orc Scouts and Stable Ruins. So there should be one more Hidden Orc Scout right here. He attacks, but he just sits there. Do not need that. Alright, so other quests. Actually still need to find Orc Scouts in the Storehouse Ruins, which are those to the southeast. No, that's to the northwest. That also has a couple other quests I can get up there. Hidden Dangers is the one I need to do. Destroy Orcish traps. I'm not really finding many of those. I have 3 out of 12. Let's see, I wonder if it is worth, or if there would be traps just randomly on the landscape. I was kind of searching everything in the ruins area. Scouted these southern no man lands. Wow, if that's part of like an exploration deed, that would be pretty tough if you have to head to a very specific area, since I've run around here a lot and it just says scouted, unless that's part of a quest. That actually looks like it's part of the quest, so probably triggered for that. If I look at my deeds though, that's something I did want to pay attention a little bit to today, just to again get set on my progress, look at everything. I have the roving threats, and then I need to do Beneath the Hills. No idea what that is, and then Foe Slayer of Langruven. I'm guessing that is more group type stuff. I don't know what Beneath the Hills is though, if that's like the quest set in Langruven maybe. Okay, gotta get out of the ruins and just focus on looking for Orcish traps, perhaps along the road. That is Hidden Dangers, and it does show on the tracker that there could potentially be some in this area. Except I am not seeing any, so maybe we will head to the next camp up there. I also do see, let's see, one of these quests, Hidden Dangers. That one is actually in the camp in the northwest. I thought there was something that was not a part of that. Oh, Scouting the Blight is not. But yeah, maybe we can go ahead and head to the camp in the northwest instead. I don't know what I was looking at, how I missed that Hidden Dangers was a part up there, but it does appear to be. I kind of remember back in the day when Update 20 came out, it was the first zone that I really streamed like a quest playthrough when I started streaming LOTRO way back in the day. And I remember the zone starting fun, but then it got like more and more boring to me as time went on, and I'm almost feeling the opposite right now. Maybe because these quests aren't all that exciting, but I wonder if I could these that was a loud car, but I think these roving threats are a little bit more difficult in this zone. I kind of doubt I can handle that one, but I feel the need to try it. We haven't had much challenge. This will really get me set back on LOTRO, I guess, if I attempt this roving threat, but I do not see it going well. I remember these ones being more difficult in this zone. I don't remember what I'm even looking at my quest log. I think I wanted to look at my traits. So I'm currently in the yellow line, which also may or may not be a good idea. Let's go ahead and put Never Surrender up. I think I also pulled a bear, or at least it threatened to attack. But yeah, we will see how this goes. I just feel the need, when there is more challenging content present, I feel the need to try it at least. I think I have that poison. I remember that poison and being essentially a one-shot, and Never Surrender didn't work there, but see, it healed me after I died, which is of course no use, but yeah, I remember that being a problem. And I wonder, I meant to use my free revive. I don't think I needed to retreat there. Will not be doing that roving threat today. I guess that's actually a good thing that the roving threats just aren't easily soloable in this area. I remember having probably more fun with them compared to other roving threats like the ones in Gondor, or most of the ones in Eriador, because they were a little bit more challenging with the group. So we're headed to the northwest, that is all I know. I think we are playing at nighttime. It is late watches, so we might get to see some of the waste during daytime, but it is really dark during nighttime. There is the screenshot for the thumbnail today. I don't know if it was right around here, but it was somewhere in this general area, I think. At least it had the red sunset or sunrise over there, red skies at the very least. Okay, scout this location. Then we do have to scout the Dead Marshes, which is actually to the west. The Dead Marshes itself is a zone, of course, but I wonder, you might be able to click it. There's this one, I think, is the Dead Marshes. But yeah, the Dead Marshes, I think, was a part of Western Gondor when that came out. Hey, Bacalonius. And you said you were finally able to make a stream, and it's been a while, and I kind of recognize that actually seeing you. But I am glad you were able to join this one. It's pretty exciting getting back to the wasteland questing on this Warden. It's been a while. Felt like a really long time since I've played LOTRO and done like regular questing. I don't really remember the streams that I did the week leading up to my break, but of course not playing the game essentially for 2 weeks just means I haven't played this character in a while. We need to find hidden orc scouts and still looking for traps. I'm doing a really bad job on finding the hidden orcish traps. I don't know if you have to go over a certain area and they aren't actually targetable until you run over them. But yeah, I'm doing a bad job at it either way. I don't remember, I kind of remember a quest like that. I remember having to run around and then these hidden orc scouts would appear. They're actually kind of hidden. Legacy tier upgrade. Don't want to use that right now. I'm excited for the balance changes. I think I briefly mentioned Runekeeper, but it would be nice for me to have a reason to play my Runekeeper. I don't know a reason to play it over the Warden, but instead of the Warden, when thinking about doing like group content with my kinship, because it's something that after I made that tier list, I don't know if I've uploaded this one. I have uploaded my favorite classes tier list. But after I talked about the Runekeeper being boring, I actually was more in the mood to play Runekeeper after that. And the main way for me to play Runekeeper and have fun on it, I think, would be to level a new one. But if Runekeeper feels viable and like I could actually pull my weight doing group content with my kin, and not feeling like I'm losing out too much by not playing my Warden, there's a hidden orcish trap. Except there's a dog that came out of it. I actually wonder if you're supposed to have that dog out. It is entirely possible. Let's see. We are not doing North of the Land, but we're doing the Wastes, which is somewhere in here. Eventually I'll find it. There it is. Yeah, the Howling should have that. There we go. This guy, I think, sniffs them out in hidden dangers. I don't remember if that is the case, but yeah, there's a hidden orcish trap appearing. But maybe that will help me get the quest done. Once I saw that player with the dog, it all came back to me that that's how it was back in the day. There's an Eothed artifact. So we are going to the Merchant Shop Ruins, which is going to be to the... Sniff them out. That is going to be to the southeast that I need to get... Cat here. Both cat hair and cat hair. There is an artifact. And it is cool to have not one, but two companions with you while you're questing. Though I thought dogs were supposed to sniff each other's butts, they, I guess, don't need to do that. That is a bog guardian. We were talking in one of my streams in the past few months about cosmetic pets, and I think just things you can do to monetize LOTRO other than, say, progression systems and skipping past those and essentially lessening grind and making it feel less pay to win, which I think a few people feel like LOTRO is, but one way is perhaps they could further the monetization of cosmetic pets by like letting you buy a perk where you can have 2 cosmetic pets out at once. I would probably like that a lot. Ooh, my cat almost fell off the desk. I'd almost say in that case it's actually a good thing my desk is plastic rather than wood. It's technically a utility table, even if I call it a desk. It serves as a desk, but either way, when my cat almost fell off and had to put her claws out to try to stay on, could have been bad if it was wood. So I am going, I don't think to that. That's the remnants of Eothed. Or Eothied. Eothiod? That name is not Eothed, I don't think. But it's like Eothiod. Eothiod? I have no idea how to pronounce that. Eothiod would be how I would guess you pronounce it, but then it's the same EO, and then the second EO would be pronounced differently because of that. So I need to remind myself once again where I'm going with the quest. We're going southeast, okay. I'll actually point myself. If one of these dogs was a pointing dog, they could point me in the right direction, but I have to keep track of where I'm going. And hello, Ruben Hovidon. You said that is sad, and I don't know what you're referring to. If something sad came up. So I'm guessing back in the day, this used to be a merchant shop, and that's why it's the Merchant Shop Ruins. Wow, this hobbit's helpful because now my dog can sniff out. Oh, it's sad that you have to buy the riding skill. I think that is, in my opinion at least, the riding skill I don't think is too bad overall. I wonder if that one counted for me. It actually might have. I don't remember if I already killed one or not in this area. But yeah, all that stuff is the type of convenience stuff that I think is actually something that can be good for VIP benefits, rather than, of course, LOTRO is not good at this, but if they had that stuff instead of monetizing content and had all that stuff, all that quality of life type stuff as the only thing, I think I would personally feel better about LOTRO's monetization, like from a free-to-play perspective. But to get a better grasp of that stuff, actually, I have considered doing a limited like free-to-play series, just trying out LOTRO as a completely free-to-play account. I'm trying to remember, I had an idea for that I think later last year, but it's something that would take away from my time playing the regular game, and I already have like very limited time, it feels like, to actually play LOTRO sometimes. And also trying to weave in other games that has never been a reality, but something I would consider doing. Do I still need to defeat hidden orc scouts? I do not believe so, but the dog barked, which means there is something here. I don't think it was the Eothiod. I still don't know on that, but yeah, as long as you unlock all that stuff, the inventory space, I think you can even unlock more inventory space as a VIP, but getting the riding skill as VIP would be an interesting one. The way I have it is I got the Journeyman account-wide riding, so all my characters just get the riding skill, but they also get the Journeyman version. It's probably been one of my better purchases with LOTRO points. I don't remember how much it cost, but because I usually hoard my LOTRO points and don't really spend them unless there's a really good sell on something, that is something I have very much so utilized. anything account-wide I typically utilize. Alright, so there's still a green quest, Hidden Dangers. It still shows some of those on the map over here, but I'm actually not too worried about that anymore. I'm hoping I can get the last 3 at the far southeast camp. I also do need to scout that place in the northwest, so we might go back there anyway. And I also don't think I will get all the Eothiode. Every time I try to say that, it still trips me up a little. But the Eothiode artifacts, I don't think I will get all those, but I also don't think it's a problem. Compared to my last stream, my first stream back after not playing the game for almost 2 weeks was going through the beta for update 30, and if anybody saw that, it's a very dangerous zone, as Innobles are. Dangerous as in there are a lot of enemies there and some tightly packed camps, and when you're just wanting to explore the zone and not really quest through it. Here's a ranger cache. I wonder if he's barking at that or something else. Probably at something else, probably something for the quest. He barked right around here. I don't know if he was barking at like a scout or what it was, but I think he barks at the traps and the scouts, both of them. I completed something. Oh, you only need to find the scouts, you don't even need to kill them to progress that quest. Right, so hopefully there are more hidden orcish traps that the dog can sniff out, but we will see. Yeah, he barked right there. Maybe he was barking once again at that scout and not at a trap, because I do not see a trap. And this orc is back. They seem to respawn if you like run out of their range. There's a trap that I already got. But if you run out of their range and right back into their range, they just respawn. If you really need some XP, they don't seem to drop any loot, but if you really need XP, I don't think that would be a great strategy, but maybe it is a strategy. Of course, I find the problem, even on the non-legendary servers, I find the problem where you level doesn't really matter in this range is what I feel like, and I actually talk briefly about it in tomorrow's video, which I have already scheduled. This is a rare occasion where I've actually scheduled a video before like the morning of or the night before, but anyway, the biggest hurdle around this level to me, or biggest sense of progression, is actually trait points rather than level, because completing Central Gondor, Old and Orient, Ashes and Stars and all that stuff, and even all the book quests, will get you a lot of XP. Anyway, Dear Zombie, you said the design of the landscape here is really cool, and I actually agree. I like this zone, and exactly that, the design of the landscape. Okay, the dog barked, and he barked at that hidden scout, I'm guessing. I don't know if he says something different than rough. I don't even know if there is something different the dog can say than rough. But for a trap versus... Okay, he barked again. I think he barked at this trap right here, which I already went over. Keeps barking. So we can head northwest in this area and hope I find some hidden orcish traps with the dog here. But yeah, the design of the landscape I also think does actually hide a little bit of the... Wait, so you said the design of the landscape of the zone is really cool and it hides the old and ugly graphics better than the wastes. So if I'm interpreting that correctly, you just mean that the design of the landscape hides some of the older and uglier graphics they have here. I can see that they have some good textures actually. If we zoom in closely on these rocks here, this is of course a flat surface and it's just sort of a painted texture on the landscape, but it's pretty high quality and Actually looks a little bit like rocks, 3D rocks up close. This would be very hard. Thinking about navigating this probably be pretty tough if there are actual dips in the landscape like that, but there are not. It's kind of funny the difference in resolution between the textures. Like these rocks that I've been talking about, the darker ones, the black ones here, are higher resolution. Then you have the really blurry just base landscape one right here next to it. Can create some odd looks sometimes, I think, the difference in the resolutions of the textures. Anyway, we still need 2 orcish traps. I did not find any. Thoroughly searched some of these rocks but did not find any, and the dog did not sniff any out. No, the dog, I don't know if he sniffs the traps out. Maybe he just like senses them and sees them. He's sniffing out the scouts. And hello, Victor. Things are going well today as we're getting settled back into the waste, and just one more hidden orcish trap. Oh yeah, the new zone. If you're talking about Elderslade, that zone I think is ugly. Unfortunately, it's kind of... The landscape is neat in that zone, but I just find it to be an ugly zone, unfortunately, and I almost feel like it appears even uglier than the waste in a way, because it seems like something that should not be as ugly as it is, but it just comes out ugly to me, and I don't know if that's fully intentional the way they designed it, but with the Elderslade, the way I think is it just ends up looking kind of ugly. See, heading west. Might as well get on my worst date, I feel like, at this point. Got an essence, but I really want level 105 essences, tier 8 essences. And again, I think I will get those. I'm going to try to set something up with my kin where we do 105 instances weekly. There's, of course, the featured instances, which would be good motivator for that, doing 105 and then 104 on those, actually sneaking in something below 105. But that way to get level 105 essences. And I think the instances themselves can even drop level 105 essences. And I overran the Dead Marshes because scouting the Dead Marshes, you do not need to go to the Dead Marshes, you just need to go to a hill near the Dead Marshes to look over them. But yeah, that's something I might try. Okay, you're going to say the Fall of Khazad-dûm zone is prettier than the Waste zone. Okay, yeah, the Waste is not a very pretty zone. I think the landscape, though, going back to that point, I do think the landscape in the Waste is pretty neat. But I can agree that the Fall of Khazad-dûm zone, which is as Xenobles are, is definitely prettier than the Waste. I don't remember, I might have been talking about how that zone was dangerous, but this zone is a lot more peaceful. Oddly enough, the zone right outside Mordor is way more peaceful than as Xenobles are, but I guess it makes sense because there's a war going on between the orcs and dwarves, and there's like apparently no war going on between anybody and the orcs or Mordor or anything. It's just a peaceful zone. Creature of the Mire. Have I completed that quest? Oh, there are creatures down here. Alright, we will do that. I could easily have missed that quest if I wasn't paying attention. So these corpse flies... Wait, these are marsh flies, not corpse flies. Either way, I need them. But yeah, the Fall of Khazad-dûm is, I think, a neat zone for a few reasons. One, because it's snowy, and the regular zone that I can't think of the name of, Dimral Dale / Lothlorien. The regular zone is not snowy, but when you're in, as Xenobles are in the Third Age 2799 version of the Dimral Dale, it is snowy, which just gives a little bit of variety. It's not like the exact same zone, just back in time a little bit. They actually did make it a little bit different by it being snowy. I like that. And the landscape in general is definitely going to be pretty. It's not very waste-like like this one. Even if I like the design of this landscape and think it looks neat, And it's definitely not that pretty. I don't think we need Avank. We need some ravenous marsh toads, which are these little guys. I guess they're the big guys. They're still little greenies. I don't know what other people call the green mobs when they have a green border. There's a technical name for them. I don't remember if it's swarm. It might be swarm. I think swarm is when they're green. Like normal is when they're white, normal mobs. But then swarm is when they're green. But I think most people... I think I said that wrong, but I don't know what most people call them. But from what I have heard from people is they call them greenies. But they're the easier mobs. I'm getting weird memories of escorting a turtle across this area. And I think I'm just thinking of a World of Warcraft quest in Tanaris and not something in LOTRO. And Victor, you're wondering what is better for raids, melee or range warden DPS wise, and I'm guessing you mean red line versus yellow line. Because even in the yellow line, in the range spec, you actually go into melee pretty frequently because a lot of the strong stuff in yellow, oddly, is in melee range. When you're in that spec, you still want to go into the melee stance, use all your bleeds and even spear sweep and the such, which is all melee, but either way, I think overall the yellow line has potential to do more damage, and most people I think prefer the yellow line because it adds a little bit more support, I think. This is something, I actually forget exactly what it is in the yellow line that you cannot get in the red line that does that. See, I don't remember if it's one of these things. Fire at will is not really that impactful. Maybe it's this one. Yeah, the extra decreased mitigation from focus fire, if I remember correctly. That is a primary addition of support. You can also support casters if you really want. You could go to their hurry up with that and weave in Android maneuver if for some reason you want that synergy. So yellow line can be a little bit better in terms of that, but that's not pure DPS wise. And outside of that though, outside of the additional support bonuses in the yellow line, I think it has the potential to do more damage, but it's RNG based if you get seize the moment procs and if you get your spear sweeps. And I think red line can be a little bit more consistent. There's a random dust devil. I assume that's what it's supposed to be. It's kind of faint, hard to tell. Don't really get the sense of this being a very dusty place, but it actually makes sense that it would be. It looks fairly dry, kind of savanna-like, a little bit like the Lonelands. Definitely different than the Lonelands, but get a little bit of that savanna-like feeling here. I don't really think of this as a savanna though, oddly enough. It has those trees, but could just be an arid, semi-arid type land. Dry, essentially. I don't know where I am. This is really weird. I don't know if I've ever been in this part of these two zones. I have to explore a little bit. I think I've made the transition to North Ithilien by now. At the very least, when you get to the... It's a nice transition, I will say. Because it slowly gets a little bit more green, and it started to feel... There's a little patch of strong greenness right down there. And then there's, of course, the really green part of North Ithilien, but that was a nice little transition towards the greener stuff. Anyway, back to where I need to go with the questing, which I am ready to turn things in, and I'm being very bad because I am a warden. Wardens do not need to run back to camps to turn in quests, they just use their musters, as far as I know. They would use their musters if they could find them, at least. Camp of the Host. See, it's been too long since I played this game that I forgot the Warden strategy to just muster back to the quest camp and not have to run back and get lost. But speaking of getting lost, that is half the fun sometimes. Now I have to remember what I actually need to do in the camp to turn things in. I have a quest ring icon on this guy again, and maybe I could go ahead and do these quests, honestly. I think the Host of the West silver pieces, I found that I have bartered for basically everything that I want. I think Muster and Horondir is the next one. That's only 40 of those. And I don't know, maybe the crafting recipes, those are important enough that I would actually want them, but I do not know. A problem with these things is they are bind on acquire, so I couldn't like use this and then send it to my roomkeeper Taylor. I'd actually have to do the woodworker on this Warden. At least it doesn't require guild crafting, which is something I'm not the biggest fan of, especially at this point. Spooky Horn could be neat. I try when I'm doing stuff like this on the legendary servers, since I know they are once again starting to ramp up, increasing the level cap pretty quickly, which at this point, after the Rise of Isengard expansion, I actually feel like that's a good thing, which is kind of the opposite of what they did initially. But anyway, when I focus on rewards and stuff I want to do and things I want to get, there he is, standing on top of the rock. If I looked up, I was like looking at the ground. If I actually bothered to look up, I could have seen Legolas was right there and the guy I needed to talk to. He was just looking over as everybody else is doing everything. These guys have their bows. It looks like their bows are backwards, but I'm guessing they're just holding it like that. The string would probably get in their way if they weren't holding it like that. Yeah, Lonelands is probably the closest to desert. Some of the deader zones like Ingmar and even the zone the Waste could probably technically be considered deserts, but like the regular deserts that people think of, like whatever deserts, I can't even think of desert names, but there's, I don't think Death Valley is the name of a desert, but that's around a desert. And then like the sand dune type deserts, some of the ones you'd see in the Sahara Desert, I think. Oh, I'm really bad with desert names. The Sahara Desert is the only one I can think of by name. Maybe Eastern Washington Desert is actually called Eastern Washington Desert, but anyway, having another desert area like Khand and Harad, I think could be neat. Having a full-on desert, I don't even consider Lonelands all that much of a desert. If we look at it, it is a lot of grass, a lot of yellow grass there. Maybe something a little bit more sandy, rocky, even less grass and more desert, more strong desert, I guess, would be pretty neat. Something maybe Tanaris-like in World of Warcraft. I had something in the zone remind me of Tanaris already, but something a little bit more like that could be neat. So I have a quest ring icon here once again, and that's to complete something with Faroth the dog. That will be Stalk of the Scrublands, which is just finding warg tracks up to the north. And then I also have to do Tangled Moss in the western area near the Dead Marshes again. Oh, getting quests. And I don't have my skill bar right. Continued culling, just defeating more enemies. Did I get a new book quest chapter? I feel like I would have defeated enough enemies for the book quest. Yes, we need to go to Horondir for that, so we are making good progress, and I am using really bad gambits. I don't know what I'm using, but I saw animations that were not good, and the enemy was not dying. I don't need to defeat all these random enemies. I'm actually just trying to find warg tracks. There is a set to the east. But yeah, of zones that we lack in LOTRO, I feel like deserts are the most, and it could just be Middle Earth. I guess as described in the books, is it really described as having deserts in the regions we have been? And I would guess that is why. And as far as I know, the Harad Khand area would be where there are more desert areas. This looks like a desert on the map, but I don't know if that's just because of the map. But yeah, nothing. I'm trying to look at the map just to see if there's anything that reminds me of being desert-like. The Brownlands is close-ish. But I think that's a little bit different still. But that might be somewhat close-ish to another area that's almost desert-like. Alright, let's get that back out of the way and continue north. So, Elenidir, you decided to make a new character and play champion. And you were trying to get a Noldor name, which I have no idea what a Noldor name would be, to be honest. But you said you have Anand Gildir. Which, with a name like that, I feel like anything Noldor may be also hard for me to pronounce. That's going to be an issue. I mentioned this in the Update 30 beta stream, and maybe even video, that a lot of the names of the places there is going to take me a minute to get used to how they're pronounced. With things like, I guess we can't see that on the map since we're not on the beta. I would really doubt they actually have that, but if we go, let's just go somewhere random. To Lothlorien, I think these are more of the Elvish names of these places, and we see more of the Dwarvish names of those areas when we actually get as Xenobles are. Yeah, the Brownlands is probably described, I would say more accurately described as a wasteland-like area. Which, when I think of wasteland in a game, I guess because one of the main games where I've actually played and explored lands a lot is World of Warcraft, I am reminded again of Desolus in that game. Alright, there are warg tracks I know going to be coming up soon, but I don't have Faroth out. Yes, I do. He was just hiding in the bushes. Can only imagine if all the orcs and goblins decided to hide in the bushes, how much of an advantage they'd have if they decide to attack or defend wherever. So Dre's games, you think of Northern for Wasteland? I could kind of see that. Borean Tundra, having a zone like that on LOTRO would be neat. And actually there is, as far as Borean Tundra goes, Irid Mithra and parts of that zone, I think the Anvil area and the Withered Heath, not the actual Anvil, but the Withered Heath, I think is a little bit similar to that, just because it has the hot springs. That's like the type of thing I think of with Borean Tundra. So one interesting thing about WoW is a lot of the environments and landscapes are neat. Actually, let me rephrase that. The variety of stuff they have, biome type stuff and environments they have, is really nice, but sometimes I feel like there's a thing lacking in their landscapes compared to LOTRO. It's almost like in LOTRO sometimes I've felt the zones are too big, like from a gameplay perspective, but they also, even the smaller zones that I don't really feel like that is an issue, is, let me get back on my train of thought. I kind of forgot where I was going there. I feel like LOTRO just feels more vast and bigger. And I think that's what after having played a lot of LOTRO, I sometimes feel like I miss that. Especially I noticed it in Shadowlands, whatever first zone that was, Bastion, I think was the name of it. The name of the little robot guy in Overwatch as well. But that zone is something I just didn't really actually like the landscape or world building at all in that zone. I think that was another issue with me not really liking Shadowlands. Accidentally bumped the mic there. I wonder how loud this microphone is. It was a little bit of a tap and just shook the arm a tiny bit, but I wonder how loud it is compared to the other one when I do tap it. I also noticed as a random thing with the microphone in tomorrow's video, there was something off a little bit with it. I think I recorded that video a little bit early in my testing with it. And since it's a new microphone and completely new setup to me, I guess I can't loot those. My inventory is full, and that is pretty standard for this character. There still is something I need here. Alright, let's get this flower. Eventually we'll get whatever quest item it is here. We also have the Stalker Moogbok. Moogbok sounds like a good org name. Oh, he's actually an elite. I don't know if these branches are lootable. They are lootable branches, or at least choppable branches. So Dre's Games, you said you don't like the Shadowlands themselves at all, but you're still playing it. Yeah, it's a game or an expansion I feel like I could have probably quested through a little bit more, but I was just getting way too bored of it when I tried. But it might be something I can go back and end up enjoying a little bit more. Also wonder we are at dawn. I was going to say it doesn't quite look like daytime. I know the waste won't expect it to be super bright, but wow, that really is just flat. Back there's a little hill way off in the distance, but wherever this part of Middle Earth is, up in this area is really flat. I think we're around there. It's kind of hard to tell. We have to zoom out so many different maps. But yeah, this type area I think is where we're kind of pointing towards, is really flat. At least the way they have it in the game right now. Alright, where am I headed? I just need to head west in general, I think. Still need to defeat foes in the No Man Lands. I'm actually surprised I haven't killed that many. Usually I wouldn't say I killed too many, but sometimes I focus too much on killing too many enemies. So, Elena dear, to get back to your message, you said that Sindarin names are pretty common, given how much the elves influence Middle Earth and the Houses of Men. I don't remember, this character is actually, as a high elf, has a human-based name. This is one of the few characters I actually did. They had like all these common name prefixes and suffixes. I don't remember what it was, but I was actually for the race of man because that's what my first Warden was, and I'm really bad at making names in general. So Melrethel, I think Mel was a common prefix with race of man, and I might have even combined it, the Ethel, with Elvish. So that's about all I know with this character's name and how it came to be, and I am not creative enough with names to have made a new one. And a lot of my names nowadays, I just tried to make some sort of pun off Lou or Louis based on the class, like Louian for Guardian or Louian for a champion. There's a subtle difference between Louian and Louian. And then there's Louis Lost, who definitely not related to Legolas. So what do I need to do here? Collect Tangled Moss. Why do I need to do that? Why am I moving this moss? From bog lurkers. That sentence reads a little bit weird. I don't know if it's just because of the general Middle Earth Lord of the Rings language. But it says, even in the harsh strain of the No Man Land's life, though it hardy and few. That part is what is still weird. I think the it just refers to life, though. We have not found any of the bog lurkers. I'm doing a bad job at that. So Yal, don't know how to say. I don't even know if Yal is the start of the name, but if it's like Yalkin. You said you just entered Western Gondor and you're seeing Westamnet crafting nodes. Yeah, you will have Westamnet crafting nodes. I don't remember if it's Central Gondor where they get replaced, or if it's even after Central Gondor where they get replaced. I don't even know if it's up until Old Anorian, if Eastern Gondor has the new stuff. I honestly don't remember. But yeah, you will be stuck in Westamnet for a little bit at least. I don't remember exactly when the transition. So you have Westamnet, and then it will be Walnut with that, and then it will be Norian where you'll start running into, depending what you are, if you're like a forester, if you're an explorer and have both forester and prospector. But this one will be Poplar Wood, and I think it's a Norian Skarn for prospector. Okay, got one Tangled Moss. Here's one. Maybe I need to head a little bit more west for some reason. I don't know why I'm using Piercing Toss a lot today. I should just be using Range Resounding Challenge. So they change at Central Gondor. That makes sense because that is when the level cap increased. It's a little bit of a preview, I guess, for Anorian coming. And actually having, like, Old Anorian, the zone, and they game a few regions after that. There are a bunch of marsh flies, but I don't think they will have Tangled Moss. There's a Bog Guardian. At least with them changing in Central Gondor, that is only one zone you have to wait for. Is this where you enter the Dead Marshes? I thought you could actually enter the Dead Marshes, which takes a moment to get to on the map, but this one, I thought you could actually enter this from the waste, and I'm wondering if this is where you can do that. Maybe there will be more Bog Guardians up here. I see one, so it's not complete. Waste of effort, I guess, or the misadventuring does actually give me a little bit of something, but I don't remember if you can enter the Dead Marshes. It has to actually skipping me all around. Wow, that's weird. But I thought you could somehow end up actually in the Dead Marshes proper from here, but I don't know. I'm skipping around way too much though. It seems like whatever invisible barrier they have here is kind of choppy and buggy. Somehow entered myself in a fall for 18 seconds doing that. I think that means it is time to stop. They're giving me a warning at least before I just die by misadventure randomly. Yeah, the waste doesn't look too bad when it actually becomes daytime. It's almost like Mordor Besieged. It's not complete darkness. Kind of like how I remember at least Moria and even Angmar being. They're a little bit brighter at times. Gives you a sense of evil, but not 100% evil all the time, I guess. Okay, back to Dead Marshes. Yeah, invisible barriers, they are very immersion breaking. In the Update 30 beta, if anybody did not watch that, there was a point when I went to the Demerald Dale area because they not only changed the landscape, or let's say they not only added the new stuff in Azenobalzar, which is the 2799 version, I think that's the year, of the Demerald Dale back during the 6th War, I think, of the Orcs and Dwarves in Moria or something like that. But they changed the Demerald Dale landscape in Lothlorien as well, the level 60 version. But there was a random point I got to where it said you're in like a restricted area, where I was just running through the landscape like normal, of a place that was actually in Azenobalzar they could go around. And that was very immersion breaking, even though it's just in the beta. I'm hoping that that changes and does not make its way through. But yeah, invisible barriers and things like that, definitely immersion breaking. I am running out of room to find these Bog Guardians. I would never have thought this to be an issue. I still have a little bit of room up here, actually. This makes me think desert, just dry. I can't tell because it's just a texture, but I'm guessing that's supposed to be dry, cracked dirt. I think I combined dirt and earth there, but dry, cracked dirt. Don't see any Bog Guardians once again. The update, I don't think they have given a release date, but I suspect it will be in June. This update is a little bit weird. So for anybody that doesn't know, LOTRO's new producer, whose name is Rainenia on the forums, and it's like Oleg something. I follow them on Twitter now, actually, but I don't think they post anything LOTRO related on Twitter. as exciting as that would be to actually have somebody from LOTRO on a place other than the forums. There was one person, this is a story from somebody in my kinship, actually my kin leader posted that they liked a quest or whatever, Midsummer Quest. I think it was part of the festival that went to Era the Win, and we actually had one of the developers of LOTRO that designed that quest comment on that, but anyway, it was totally off topic. I almost feel like with this new producer and the input they have put in, that there will be more rounds of the beta compared to some of the previous updates, so I don't think it will be like early June. I am suspecting later in June, but I don't really know. But just because of all the changes going on, it seems like they want to incorporate a lot of feedback with the balance changes and the such, and the raiding experience actually with the new raid. I'm actually going to try, just speaking of the new producer, I'm going to try to do something interesting. I have to wait till tomorrow to find out, but potentially doing something like an interview with the new producer, because if people haven't seen or don't go onto the forums a lot or don't watch like the Cordovan's weekly streams, then you might not know that LOTRO has a new producer, and they've been, it seems like, very helpful based on my impressions. Yes, as Zenibalzar is going to be just a quest pack. I think that has been confirmed. It's not an expansion or mini expansion. Okay, don't need the roving threat. We found out at least the one I tried was definitely too hard because it was got the one-shot debuff on me. I don't think it's one-shot debuff, but it kills you if you aren't healed enough, which is not a one-shot. That's like the opposite of a one-shot. That's damage over time that can be out-healed. It might, on expiration, like kill people around you. I don't remember. But there's something with a one-shot in one of these roving threats, but I don't think that was actually it. There's a tiny bit of blue skies. We have more blue skies, it feels like, than pre-battle Gondor, though. That was a big thing after getting finished with the Central Gondor up to, I guess, up to Minas Tirith, Lothlorien, and the such. The blue skies returning, but there's still a little bit here. Not even so much red. There's of course a little bit of red towards the, that would be towards the east, and especially during sunset, sunrise time, and to the south. No, that's still east, but just where Mordor is. But it's a lot of black clouds. It's kind of smoke looking clouds in a way. Actually almost makes it look stormy. Okay, ready for quest turn-ins. By the way, as an outlook for the rest of the stream, I will probably be going perhaps half an hour or so more. I want to do about a 2-hour stream, so we still have a little bit over half an hour, I think. But just as like a rough time I was looking for with the stream, my inventory is so messy on this character. And I don't think I have the subscriber town services. It's been so long since I played, I forgot that was a thing I need to pick up. There's a lot of stuff I think I can put in like my shared storage and the such, but I have to actually be somewhere where I can do that. Go ahead and sell that shield. Tier 7 essence, don't need. Lock that stuff, sell that stuff, and there we go. A few inventory spaces. Sell that stuff and still have a few inventory spaces. Have a random tier 9 essence for when we get to Mordor. Tactical mitigation, probably won't use it. Got a forager's basket. Let's see what we got from that. Just a bunch of extracts. I got a sapphire one, and if I remember correctly, sapphire is one of the rare ones. Yeah, sapphire is actually probably the most valuable essence. It's almost like the loot box lottery there, getting one of the sapphire or what's the other one? Sapphire or amber extracts from the forager's baskets. Yes, this inventory, that is essentially all my characters' inventories, but this character, as one of an explorer and collector, some of my characters will have like crafting mats take up 3 or more rows than this character's crafting mats, but I have so much armor and stuff that I've accumulated and just don't want to throw away even some junk. I really feel like I'm a hoarder in the game, and any game I play, because it doesn't take physical space. I guess it does take space in inventories, but even stuff I don't need or maybe might have slight use of eventually, I just completely save it and hoard it. Even armor, like random armor I don't need, sometimes I save them hoping I'll get like an armor set, a good cosmetic armor set. I don't know if that's what this is, but I save things like that. As I quest through a zone, I'll save all the armor that I get, hoping that it'll make a full cosmetic set that I might eventually like. So there's a lot of stuff like that going on in my inventory too. Pat Faroth because he is a good dog. That makes sense. Where is he? Oh, is he back down? I went to my quest ring up there, but once again, that's Host of the West. Apparently I did a assisting the herbalist quest. Not herbalist, I did not mean to say the H there, but it's herbalist. Where is Faroth? Because I completely agree that he is a good dog, but I just don't know where he is. Over here? Or do I have him? I don't... Maybe I do have him. There we go. It's in my inventory. Yes, I do have the Virtue XP. I have a 20 Virtue XP, 50 Virtue XP, I have a 200 Virtue XP, and 500 Virtue XP, and one more, 1000 Virtue XP. All that's in my inventory as well. But that's the other type of thing I hoard. I save those for the Virtue XP boost. We recently had a 20% one, so I used all my Virtue XP boost during that. Okay, let's pat Faroth. For all that waiting, he deserves... Alright, can't stop at 4. I have to give him 7 pats. A new friend. You can actually get Tome of Faroth. I remember I was so excited with this quest. You got a cosmetic pet just for doing regular zone quests.
Let us help you bring glad tidings, friend.
He was really hopeful looking there. Now he's just sniffing the ground. See, for some reason he looks really hopeful and excited. It's like you're going to adopt a dog, but just in the game. He does look thrilled. He's wagging his tail and everything. It's really hard for me to want to replace my Illumine Hound, but I feel like I should sometimes bring Faroth out. My Illumine Hound has been with me through all my adventures in Gondor, essentially, keeping me company with those, but maybe it is time to let the Illumine Hound have a break. He honestly, kind of like my outfit, makes me think too much of Eastern Gondor and Central Gondor Old Anorian. This outfit, it makes me think of those zones too much. This is my new outfit that came with the anniversary. At least the main pieces. The back item is the Warden's pack. But anyway, we can Control C, Shift C, there it is. And I should have Faroth. If I actually use Tome of Faroth, we should have Faroth. As far as I know, he doesn't even show up when you search Hound. As far as I know, he is the only other dog I have. Oh, it actually went right there for me. So there we go. I have a second cosmetic pet. He seems to run a lot faster. He actually has a running animation compared to the Illumine Hound. The Illumine Hound does like a fast walk, but then Faroth, he goes into a full run, it looks like. A little bit. At first it seemed like he was. Anyway, we have to go to Horondir for my next set of quests, which is, that was my goal for the day, getting to Horondir. We can maybe start with the first quest set, see what the quests look like in Ruins. I used to have all these random places, I guess. There's inns, there's a shop or something, farmhouse, noble house, stable ruins, storehouse ruins, something way over here. That is unrelated, that is Tham Durlin, it's not a ruins. I guess it is a ruins, but not in the name. Wonder what LOTRO would be like, or Middle Earth would be like, if there were no ruins. If everything that was ever built just stayed up. Even this is a little bit ruins-like. It's not quite as destroyed as some of the previous areas, but still a lot of stuff somewhat destroyed at least. That is a floating chest. So what are we doing here? I think I mentioned I could go ahead and maybe get my Scrolls of Empowerment. That would probably be my favorite reward that I could actually get from these things, so I think I will go ahead and do this. Go ahead and get a couple Scrolls of Empowerment. So it costs 150 of the Host of the West silver pieces, which I am comfortable spending.
This is a dead place.
This is a lot of stuff. Looks like there is stuff, yeah, east of Farondir, which is in Dum Boha. Looks like also Ondoher's Folly. Ondoher's. I don't think I've ever actually pronounced the name of that area before. So about canceling the other Lord of the Rings MMO, I made a video on that topic. That was quite a while ago, I have to think again. But I think it's both good and bad for LOTRO, probably mostly good. One of the bad things is competition could have potentially been good. Having another MMO could have maybe made Standing Stone Games step it up a little bit and do a little bit better with LOTRO, but where are we going? My book quest is, okay, that is to the north. The zone quests are to the southeast area. The book quest also is to the southeast. There is a quest, it says nuances. Is that actually how you spell nuances? I don't think so, that's nuisances. So yeah, something was wrong with that. I think it's nuisances. Anyway, that's at Newharn. I feel like that has to be intentional nuisances at Newharn. I hope it's pronounced the same way just because of that. Oh, I also need the remnants of Eotheod, which I think I can also do to the west. So maybe I'll do this stuff to the west first. But with the other Lord of the Rings MMO, first I talked about competition that could have potentially been good. I don't know what the result would have been of that, of course. But then it could also be good for LOTRO because when the Amazon Lord of the Rings TV series comes out, that could boost interest in the franchise in general. And I even get comments from people like 14 years after LOTRO's release that they never even knew that this was a game. So there's the potential with more people interested in the franchise in general and maybe searching for games in MMORPG games of the Lord of the Rings, they could be driven to LOTRO. But an issue there is LOTRO is very old and people looking for a newer game may end up not being interested in it anyway. So even, yeah, the news of it getting canceled, I think even that drove a little bit, as VSKS said, could have driven a bit of interest. And yeah, the Lord of the Rings MMO would have been different if it was set in the Second Age, which I think it was set in the same time period that I believe the TV series is supposed to be set in. That's a lot of lag. So yeah, while I know basically nothing about the Second Age, It would have been interesting to see just a different MMO. While I'm not sure I would have ultimately liked the gameplay of it, it would have been interesting to see the differences in a game world, which there probably are some games set in the Second Age, non-MMO games, more RPG games. But actually see the differences compared to what there is in LOTRO. But there is one place in LOTRO that is in Second Age, which is Mordor Besieged, which I think I saw a comment about the Nazgul, maybe? Yeah, there are the 9 Nazgul. I believe there are 9 Nazgul. As far as I know, there are bunches of Kargals in the game. I don't know how much so in the Lord of the Rings, but for that type of stuff to make sense in the MMORPG game, there are tons of Kargals in the game, but there are only 9 properly named Nazguls. I think those are the ones that show up in Mordor Besieged with, if I remember correctly, the Witch King of Ingmar maybe being like the big baddie there. What am I doing here besides just killing things? I guess just killing things. That is nice. I love quests when I am doing them and don't even realize I am. I honestly did not know I had quests to do here. I just ran here and started killing things. I guess I saw I was getting quest progress. That probably registered more like subconsciously that I was actually doing stuff. For some reason I really remember this camp. I feel like I spent a lot of time here. Whenever I would go to the wastes, this would just be an easy access camp, I guess, to kill some things. There's a dwarf here. Odin. Odin makes me think of Odin. I don't know why, but if I think of Odin, that just makes me think of Runekeeper rather than Champion. So yeah, there are 9 Nazgul. Only 2 of them are named, so there's the Witch King and Camel the Easterling. I did not know only 2 of them were named. Is it the Woe of Khand one or something like that? I might be misremembering. But maybe that is just like it's titled rather than named. I don't know, that just might be whatever that's called, semantics. Don't even know if that's the right word right now. Yeah, I think that's semantics. The other one I was thinking was syntax, but that's not it. Okay, now what am I doing? Now that I have actually killed a bunch of things, what am I doing? I think I'm looking for Eothiod artifacts, which I collected 1. Maybe there is just 1, but it's still on the map showing possibilities here, so I'll have to look around a little bit. Maybe I missed one up to the northwest here. There is one down, actually. Right around the corner. Not that far down. I believe there's also a quest in the Brownlands where there is a Nazgul present. I think it was the Brownlands. That's come up a couple times, but thinking of all the places you see Nazgul in the game, actually I thought the Brownlands was an area. Maybe it was an instance quest, or I'm just misremembering, but I feel like in that area of the zone there was something with a Nazgul. But yeah, I don't 100% remember on that. Here's the Eothiod artifact. So I still need 3 more, it looks like. There should be 3 more right outside Harandir with that huge polygon there for what the area can be. There's also something I need, Grave Tidings, in the east, and I am curious, there is something, the book quest. So I do need to find the folly for the book quest. And then I do need to find the road to Dol Akhorn in Daggerlad, which would be way up there. And then in the No Man Lands, I need to find that place. No. That's the book quest. Narcost? Yeah, Narcost. I guess that's also called Doom Boha. That will be to the east, not the west. Alright, this is a pretty big zone. We need to get here. So in the Brownlands, there is the quest with Nona where Nazgul show up. So that is the one that got his steed shot down by Legolas, actually. I wonder, there was a quest, the one I'm thinking of, which might be that one, is it's like this camp, kind of circle ovalish like. And you have to go around and do stuff, maybe some stuff with tents or kill enemies and such, but you also have to avoid the Nazgul that's just roaming around, and if he sees you, he one-shots you, kills you, something like that. Or you just fail the quest. I don't remember exactly, but something like that. I have no idea what Artemir is doing. I was trying to find out, he's staring at something. He seems upset. Like, for some reason I get the feeling that this was some like grand building that was just destroyed a couple hours ago and he's just mad about it and staring out because of that, not really knowing what to do. I wonder how many people are on this server. We're actually almost to 200 people, wow. I wonder if the Ithel closure actually has something to do with that or not. Which there are, that reminds me, there are actually a few things I forgot to put in my Update 30 beta video, and one of them was Ithel closing, and then there was something else, there's something else. I don't remember what it was, though. Smudged orders. Okay, read the smudged orders. That is all I need to do for that quest. So what do I need to do here? Need to go west for grave tidings, okay. So it looks like you haven't left Dunland yet, VSKS, and yes, I guess story-wise, going down to Rohan from the Lothlorien side with the Great River and Brownlands would be after that, right before you go to East Rohan. I've always found it a little bit weird. Maybe if I paid more attention to the story and book quests going on, it would make more sense, but I found it weird that you go into Moria, and then you go to Mirkwood, and then you come out and you go all the way to Enidwaith, and then you go to Dunland. That part kind of makes sense. You go to Dunland, and then you go to Nan Carinair and Gap of Rohan, but east of the Gap of Rohan, you can actually go, like, there's landscape there to go to West Rohan, up in this area. That's the Fort of Eisen, I believe is the name of that. But story-wise, I guess you go back around instead of, it might be blocked off by, like, orcs or something like that. There's some battle going on there, I think is probably the explanation. But it's like you decide, you go through here and you're like, okay, don't want to go this way through Rohan. So you decide to go this way, but then you can't go that way, so you just go back this way. That's the kind of feeling I get from that. Anyway, setting that distraction aside. Oh, so you left Dunland. Okay, I get that now. That makes sense because you don't really need to do, if you follow the story, like, quests one by one, go through the progression of the game as things came out, then you would do that zone, the Great River, after Dunland. But it's sort of an alternative you can do. The Great River, I think you can actually skip. This is something I have done with my characters, is skip Dunland rather than do... Let me restart that. Skip Dunland and do the Great River instead, but start the Great River a little bit early in terms of level. And I have found on my Guardian that I actually ended up over leveled. I started the Great River around level 71, I think. Is that right? No, I started around level 66 and ended up like level 76 after it was all said and done. But I also did Limelight Gorge on my Guardian. And yeah, if you're doing the Dunland, I definitely think the Rise of Isengard and Dunland content, I definitely think it is worth doing and fun. That's actually a problem with both Inadwaith, Mirkwood, Dunland, and the Great River. All four of those I enjoy, but it's kind of like you get too much XP, you'd be way over leveled for one. If you did like Mirkwood and Inadwaith and then wanted to do Rise of Isengard, the Dunland part of that, and then do the Great River, you'd end up way over leveled. That's the benefit of playing two characters. My Lore Master is the one that is going to be going through Dunland at some point in the near future. I realize once again I'm forgetting to actually get on my mount. So I do remember this quest actually. I don't know why, but this camp I remember more than anything, it seems like. I'm surprised how much I remember this camp and questing through it. But yeah, we have to free the tortured captives. And yeah, that is also true. You can even exit Moria at a little bit high level, do Lothlorien. I actually think you could skip Mirkwood and Inadwaith and do the opposite instead of skip Dunland. Do Dunland but skip Mirkwood and Inadwaith as well. There are just a lot of options because you get so much XP in LOTRO, and you can even do missions nowadays to skip more stuff. Like doing the 10 missions for Wildwood, I don't remember if that would give you a full level, but it's still a good chunk of XP, and if you decide to do that multiple days and get some of the rewards there, you can get a lot of XP from that. And same with the War of Three Peaks missions, you can even start setting yourself up if you're looking for a legendary item or rewards, rich XP and the such. Doing a bunch of missions is also a fairly new way to get decent rewards now that they made missions in general more rewarding, which I thought was the biggest issue as far as missions in general go. I thought that was the biggest issues with them, but now they can not only provide some XP for when there is a gap in the content you are doing. If you want to try to skip something, you can get other rewards that can be useful down the road. This is, as probably people could guess by the quest here about like freeing tortured captives, there's some gross things in this area, such as those hanging things. Those are giant bones, by the way. I don't know what those bones are from, but they're pretty big bones. I don't know if it's quite Mumak, like Mumak size bones, but they're about as big as my character, it looks like. Yeah, Inadwaith for the world-renowned deed would definitely help with that, and I find Inadwaith to be pretty fun anyway. It's one of my favorite zones. Been a while since I've quested all the way through it though. I think my Guardian is the one I did it most recently, but only did like half the quest until I got high enough level to go straight to the Great River actually. Which is really crazy. I actually, on my Guardian, once again, I started Inadwaith early, but didn't even get through all the quests there before it was time to move on to the Great River. Once again, skipping Dunland. That looks like a pig snout. That is gross. I feel definitely fine burning all that stuff. That is not an enemy ghost. I think there are some enemy ghosts, the dead, over in Dol Akkarn. I want to call it Arnak, but I think that is the name of... Yeah, Arnak is over there. Somewhere in central Gondor. Arnak is the name of one of the camps. So what do I need to do here? Still just need to burn some stuff and free some more people. Make sure I'm staying on progress with the questing. So VSKS, you said you're European, so it's very late where you are. First, a good night. Want to make sure you catch that, but actually with me streaming earlier today, I was hopefully at a little bit of a better time compared to if I was streaming, say, 4 or 5 hours from now even. Watchful Eyes. Oh, another quest available, Burning Banners. This actually turned into a little bit of a bigger quest set than I initially expected or remembered before I actually got to the camp and was like, oh yeah, there's a bunch of stuff to do here. Definitely see that being a good thing. I wonder, I think I finished book 7, but I actually want to make sure. Yeah, I did finish book 7, it looks like. Thought I did. I just randomly remember, I was like, I don't think I quite 100% finished that before I picked up actually book 8, but I never started book 8, and I did finish book 7. We got that done before I headed here. And speaking of just progress, I guess, on this character in general, the progress on this character, yeah, the Warden's Gondor, I believe we're on part 25 already. And the series with Warden's Gondor was pretty slow at the start. If anybody remembers, in like January of this year and February when I was working on a few videos and different things, I was a little bit slow with these streams, but finally kicked it into gear, and it's been probably the main thing that I have done stream-wise. I think I've taken some breaks here and there with it. But yeah, overall with this character, a lot of progress, and probably been one of my most consistent series actually on my channel. I will say the Honor LM series went a long time up until Moria. But this is probably... Luiden was also fairly consistent, but I only got up into the mid-40s episodes, and as far as total time spent on the character, that was the other thing. A lot of these streams have been long, some of them even 4, 5, 6, maybe even some 7-ish hours on this character. So it's been a lot of time in Gondor the past few months on this character. I hope I don't get burnt out. Taking some breaks, even ones where I normally won it, like the past couple weeks, I think can actually be good. Like when update 30 comes out, I'll probably spend a lot of time doing that on Luiden, of course. Let's see, what do I need to do here? I need to burn some more banners. I know that is a quest. I actually got that quest pretty late, so I'm probably going to run in, if I just circle back what I have already done, probably run into more banners, such as that one, which is actually up a level from where I am, and it does look like I was able to climb. I forget there's double XP. This is something, the last double XP weekend was something I actually tried to take advantage of. And I kept mentioning during that stream that it's usually not the playstyle I choose. It's the one I maybe used to do a little bit more in LOTRO and in games in general, where I'd always want to take advantage of double XP or whatever. Ancient Weapon, is this going to be another new quest? I don't remember doing anything with weapons yet. No, that is a deed, Relics of the Last Alliance. But this is an example of a time where I really do not care, actually, about the XP boost that is going on. One, because this character can't gain XP, but even if it could gain XP, I am doing level 105 stuff, and I'm level 105. And I wouldn't really care about doing more or over-leveled. Usually in questing I like to be under-leveled. Now, this actually reminded, for people that were here moments ago when I was talking about something I forgot to put in update 30 in addition to the whatever I talked about. The thing I forgot to mention was actually the landscape difficulty setting. And I think there were 9 settings maybe that you could change the difficulty of landscape. With something like that, being underleveled wouldn't be a priority for me. I like doing underleveled stuff because it's like a little bit of I can get a little bit of a challenge and actually feel a sense of progression and empowerment in my character. If I start a zone going back to my Guardian, if I start Limelight Gorge at like level, what was it, 66, my Guardian was actually fairly weak in the Great River Zone. I think I mentioned Limelight Gorge, but yeah, in the Great River Zone, my Guardian was actually feeling a little bit weak because I was under leveled. A lot of deflects and such, and just enemies being generally stronger compared to me. But as I leveled up, my character of course got a lot stronger. And it feels like a smoother or better sense of progression, I guess, starting his zone under leveled, and he can actually, like my Guardian again, become over leveled. And that was really noticeable in Limelight Gorge because I got done with, I think, most of the questing, I think mid 70s. I don't remember if I got like level 75, probably 74 to 75, I think, is when I started to try Limelight Gorge. I don't remember actually getting fully done with all the quests by the time that happened, like when I first tried Limelight Gorge when it came up. But after I did the deeds, and I think finished the questing, I got a couple more levels, maybe 76 to 77 at that point, and got better allies and such, and even got level 75 gear. I remember soloing the Elite Masters and Nemesis actually felt a lot easier at that point. It was that whole huge sense of progression thing. Starting a zone under leveled like that can be fun. That's one of the reasons I do like to do that. The same thing happened with my Hunter and Troll Shaws. I wasn't really too weak to begin with, but I went from strong to like insanely strong by the time I got through with that. But yeah, with the landscape difficulty slider, I wonder how that would feel, because I would be somebody that's in favor of turning the difficulty up, especially if it's rewarding. Like if you can get actual character benefits as well, like Virtue XP or something like that, not just titles. Usually titles for me are boring. They have to be really relevant to a character and a title I like, rather than like an achievement style title for me to equip it. I think I got done with the questing here, by the way. That is why I'm leaving that camp, and I don't see anything on my tracker. The only quest I have, we have Dagger Lad, which is ready for turn-in, actually. Minchum, and that's the one I'm tracking. And then there's the Nuisances, which is ready for turn-in. And then the Remnants of Eothiod. I still need to do that, but that's right outside the camp. Harandir there. Oh, do we actually get to talk to that NPC that's like staring aimlessly out and looking like he's really mad? No, that is not this one. Where did that guy go? There he is. Oh, we actually do have a quest, something involving him. Get to talk to him. Oh, he's looking to study the location. He does not look like somebody who wants to study the location to me. As I mentioned, it looks like he was here when these ruins were destroyed. And it looks like it was a very recent event. Of course, the ruins don't look like that was a recent event, but that is what he looks like to me. So we are going back to the Folly and just defeating orcs there. That seems a little bit odd. I wonder if I did miss something, did something out of order somehow? I don't think I did, but maybe I did. So yeah, just defeating orcs here. We'll see if anything new pops up, or after I defeat the 15 orcs, if anything new will pop up, but this is a fine quest by me. It's an okay reason to return to the camp, as long as I don't have to do a bunch of this stuff that I feel like I already did. Just going back here to clear out things is not a problem. It's also helpful if there is a Slayer deed, and it does look like there's a Slayer deed. The Slayer deed is actually for Onderher's Folly. 50 enemies here. There might be an advanced one. That's a weird Slayer deed. I assume that is a deed. Foe Slayer. Let's see what that looks like. And then I might get an advanced one. Gives me usual LOTRO points and reputation. Yeah, it looks like these Slayer deeds here. There's one for Langrove, and it's just defeating foes in these specific camps. I haven't come across one that's like a Beast Slayer, and also have not come across one that is like a specific mob type that I remember, at least. And now we get the advanced one. And that will be regular Slayer D, 2000 Virtue XP, so need to defeat tons of enemies here, even if not for the quest. I would like to, time permitting of course, complete all the deeds in the Waste, like I did with a lot of the other Gondor zones, especially if the meta deeds are rewarding. That's actually a big thing that was lacking in a lot of the Gondor zones, is the meta deeds were unfortunately basically didn't reward anything, is what I felt like. But for now, I will go ahead and head back to the camp, or the ruins, not really much of a camp, and talk to Legolas. Really liking my Warden's outfit. I know there are a couple things I mentioned about this outfit that were a little bit annoying, and one is the elbow pads, especially their weird bendability. And just that I don't think I've ever worn armor in a game that has elbow pads. So that part's a little bit weird. Also, it's a little bit wide feeling, I guess, at the bottom section of it. And I guess shaped weird compared to the top. But I actually do like the outfit, and it's been a while since I've worn something blue. I do have this blue outfit, but it's just, I don't know, not something I've been in the mood for. I don't really like the back. I'd have to have a cloak with this outfit, and I'm not the biggest fan of cloaks right now. So I am really liking this outfit. It also seems like a slightly different blue color, one I'm liking a little bit better. Which I just realized I'm actually wearing a blue shirt today. Alright, so got that done. So I can go ahead and do Dol at Karn, I think. And then that will probably be, see where that leads in. After that would be a good point to get wrapping up with this stream, because I have things to do and dinner to eat. That's why I did this in the earlier afternoon for me. It's something I'm considering. I don't know this exact time, but it's something I want to maybe get back to doing potentially in the future. I'm still settling in. We'll see what summer brings schedule wise and things going on, but the way I was doing it for most of the spring and late winter was, actually it was mostly spring because January and February were a little bit crazy. I would usually stream on Saturday and Friday, and then take Sunday to do videos. No, the stream is not about to end. Actually, it's maybe ending soon-ish. But you made it a few moments, bro, moments. That was unintentional, by the way. But you made it a few moments before the stream will be ending. I'm just getting towards wrapping up. We're doing our last major thing, which is finding the road to Dol Akharn, and I'm guessing I'm going back to the camp. We'll see, this is the road. Did I find the road? Did not find the road. I'm just on the road. Maybe this is the road I need to find. And yeah, now we are going back to Turnen, so I also have my map home as well, so you did make it to the end of the stream, actually. I thought there might be a little bit more here. I wasn't entirely sure. But yeah, saving Narcost and, actually Carcost is separate, saving Narcost and whatever that's actually called, Doomboha, for the next one, give me some exciting things to do later, and that is all I have content-wise today. I think I was starting to talk about just my schedule in general a little bit, and yeah, I'm not sure in the future what things will look like, but potentially some more afternoon time streams like this. On weekends, not weekdays. Weekdays, if I stream it, will still be in the evening as far as I know. And with that, as an outlook for the future, I plan to have a video for tomorrow, and I even already have it scheduled. So that is set to go. It will be a guide. I don't know that it'll be helpful for everybody, but hopefully some people can be helpful for. And otherwise, I am stuck on a loading screen. But otherwise, I don't have anything planned. I still didn't quite to get as many videos as I was hoping to this weekend. I have, I think, a couple ones recorded that need editing and that usual stuff. And the editing has actually been really slow lately. I don't know why. I am stuck on the loading screen. While I am loading, towards the end here I can show something. I think it's scene 2, yep. Exciting, and I am questing right in that area. There's the, I don't know how much y'all can see this redoing these names, but there's the Dead Marshes right where my finger is. There's a tiny road on this map. It has the Dead Marshes as a huge area and then a tiny map there. We are still loading, by the way. I might just have to wrap up the stream on the loading screen because that's all I was really planning on doing, going to the camp anyway. So, as a little recap of what we did today, I got settled into the Waste questing, did some of the starter stuff at Hurondir, and I'm ready to head east of Hurondir to Dark Cost, I believe is the name of that first camp. So we'll do that questing and maybe some other things the next stream on this Warden, at least the next one in the Waste. I still have some stuff. I'm saving North Athelion if I need a break from the Waste and the ugliness, I guess, of the Waste, the wastelands of the Waste. I saved some stuff in the pretty North Athelion Gardens of Gondor area to go back to, and it really depends on kin events. Not really sure what all will be going on with that. And also the Update 30 beta, I'm not sure I would stream much more of it, but I will keep you all updated if there's any news on that with videos. But yeah, just thinking about things to do in general, and it's pretty much just continuing the Wastes and Gondor experience on this Warden level 105 stuff. And with that, that is all I have for this stream. So while we're at the loading screen here, I'll go ahead and wrap it up. So I hope you all did enjoy all that content, and if you did, please consider liking and subscribing for more, or becoming a channel member to support the content, and thanks for joining and chatting and watching, everyone.